Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. This is a peace podcast reading, and I am calling it that or putting it towards that category of my channel because it's really geared to help when you're going through something and maybe this is part of a healing process for you, and it might help you de-stress and think about the things, the good, and some things that you might not want to think about that might need to be addressed and processed and healed for you to move forward and bring in more peace in your life. So, this reading is a little different. I have my main deck, the Slavic Legends Tarot, that I've been reading with. I love this deck. I also have the Theater Dolls Tarot. This is a special one to me because I love the art of reading tarot, and one of my Estonian friends recommended this deck, saying that it has one of the best guidebooks. I haven't read the guidebook, but I do see why she recommended the deck. It's one of my favorites, and it's one of my most used decks. Then I have the Healing with the Angels Oracle cards. So this is a deck that was created by the same person who created the Healing with the Fairies, and at the time it was um, so awesome that there were so many decks that were made, that this was a gift from a person's grandmother who loved angels and would always talk about them. And she's up in Massachusetts, the area where I used to live, and she gave me a couple of things, and one of them being this deck. The Healing of the Fairies Oracle is also a gift too that I've been using for a while. It, she gave me this angel statue for my birthday one year. It is, it's so interesting because this statue is so strong because I have had it in really high bookshelves, and it has dropped and hasn't broken. So it's so interesting, and I have kept it all these years. One of the cards that I did see at the bottom of the Theater Dolls Tarot is the Hierophant card, so that'll be a card to look into when doing the reading. And part of the song, isn't it ironic, don't you think, is coming up for me as if something is so obvious, maybe to the people around you or the people that aren't going through whatever you're going through. But when you're in the situation, you might see things differently because there are a lot of factors that go into it aside from the main things that are evident that may be obvious to everyone else. And even the extra card, you have the Eight of Swords. So when you can't see, it's important to use other senses. And it's almost as if when you're in the situation, it's not just seeing what you would like to see. And even with the karmic card, you have the Hanged Man. And with the Hanged Man, it's almost as if the situation has you in an upside down position or in a position that's uncomfortable, or in a way where as a person you can't stay in a hangman position for long. It's doing more harm than good. And so it's almost as if you need to open your eyes to what is being shown to you. Because I feel like with the underlying energy, you have the Chariot card, and this is intense energy, and it might be a direction that you might feel like, if I could just wait this out a little bit longer, if I can just see how this goes, it'll be fine. But it is as if there's a taxi cab and there's like a meter running, or you can't have the taxi person there for much longer. It's either you go or you don't go. That's how it kind of feels. And another extra card is the Strength card. This feels like force, as if it's almost as if we try to stay in this position for as long as we can to hold something within us. And with the immediate future, it almost feels like the energy is like out of control with the Knight of Wands. Doesn't know where he's going, or what he's supposed to do. So he's just doing a bunch of stuff, but not really taking time to understand or to comprehend or to maybe listen to what is being said. And not all the time it's true about what's being said. Sometimes you do have to read between the lines, but it's almost as if constantly being badgered almost by these thoughts. But it's like you're overlooking these thoughts because it could be pride that gets in the way of protecting yourself or wanting something, but it has to be the way that you're envisioning it. And sometimes pride is something that we hold on to because it's almost like it's what can be seen as a little bit of armor that shields us from things that is closer to the reality than what we're trying to portray. And it is really important for the karmic card to be the Hanged Man, because it seems like with this figure, the roots are even growing and latching on and needing to go back into the surface and to see things upright, to see things for what they really are. And until you do that, it's almost as if you're working backwards. But when you do that, you get the Ace of Coins. And it's something truly substantial, is what I'm getting. There's just something so wild in, I'm getting the in out of whack. It's so strange that I'm saying it like that way, because in your environment card, you also have the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands is even a younger energy of the Knight of Wands. Almost like a little brother that looks up to his big brother. Little does he know his big brother isn't the best influence, but he's just taking on to that personality type, for really seeing that um, as admiration. We see the sunflowers here, and I love the sunflowers in the deck. How he's admiring his older brother, maybe another person, on how they would like to be, or how they would like to be treated, or what do they represent in the world that they're in. Then it could be a small world that they see. The extra cards that I just pulled out, the Two of Coins and the Star card. Just something is off with the priorities, and with the Two of Coins, there is a sense of responsibility in this card and the Star card. But with the Star card, it's interesting because it kind of feels like it's reversed in this reading, as if maybe we're so guarded or we protect ourselves so harshly that we aren't able to be vulnerable and really let things unravel and be even better than what we would like the outcome to be. As if we hold on to a vision that we desire, and as much as we would want it, it may not be something that is as hopeful as what we proclaim it to be. This was at the bottom of the deck, and then I just shuffled the deck and I got the Ace of Swords again. So with the Ace of Swords, and you have the Ace of Coins too, the Ace of Pentacles, this could be having different perspectives or perceptions on things. Because with the Hanged Man, it's kind of getting out of our funk or getting out of the routine that we would normally be in, that we were stuck in for so long, that just kind of had us going in circles as if we were trying to get comfortable, like a dog tries to get comfortable in its bed. Um, Although there might be a purpose for a dog to do that, it just seems a little repetitive and um, not as productive as what it would be if we would let things flow and to release and to let almost like our personality shine. Other cards that I pulled out earlier in the reading, or when I pulled out the cards in the beginning, the Queen of Wands, another court card for the Wands, came out, and really letting your ideas and aspirations shine. I think there's such an importance to understand how important it sorry understand how important it is for you to be as authentic as you are. I feel like it's as if we're confining ourselves or not letting ourselves grow when we go on a path that we feel isn't as close to our heart as we would want it to be. I'm also getting with this that it might have to do with somebody else that you may value or appreciate deeply, that it's almost as if you want their dreams as much as for their dreams to come true as much as they would want their dreams to come true, which is definitely a great thing, but it puts some setbacks in the lifestyle that you want and the type of person that you want to be. Sometimes, especially in relationships, um, there could be a tier of different levels of appreciation and affection, and sometimes the person wants you for who they want you to be, for the service that they can that you could give to them, And it might not be like that all the time, but it can get tiring, and years can go by, and you look at your life and you're thinking, my life isn't as fulfilled, and I'm not sure why, but their lives are much more fulfilled, and I'm so happy. But you can be happy for yourself too, because I feel like with the Queen of Wands, I feel like with this card, it's asking, how about me? The Queen of Wands knows how to cater to her needs. If she wants something in her life, she'll say, I'm going to get it because I deserve it. And that could go with the Strength card too, of what it can be applied to. But there is a solemn type of expression that can come off of this card too, as if she's holding off from the strength that she has because in order for the other person to feel more comfortable, she has to shine her light less. And I feel like that is a part of the Hanged Man too. It can feel like you let yourself go because the person that you know that you are is confined. So with the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Coins, it feels like there is an unleashing type of energy that comes from this. To be able to thrive. And I do see in this reading and in life in general where if you are who you I was gonna as the song came up, if you are what you say you are, a superstar, then have no fear. The camera's here, and I feel like when you are in the zone at the top of your game, or I think that's how you say it, where there's such a drive and a passion, especially for work, that companies really notice when you do have a drive and a passion for something that you do instead of just doing it because it has uh it has the paycheck that you like. There could have been times where people didn't like the things that you did, how you did them. It could be a lifestyle that you had. But the Queen of Wands is still there. And it just doesn't feel like with her that she would let it get to her head. Because with the wands, it really feels like it's linked to the sunflowers and it's linked to the sun. And the extra card that I just pulled, the sun and the nine of coins cards, It also feels like with the Sun card being the happiest when you unlock the potential that you have. And I really do feel like it has to do with what you want in life and how you want to do it. I do feel that there are opposing forces at this time, that it might be not it might not be that aggressive towards you, but it could be family ties that want you to, I'm sorry, that want you to do these things in life, or to be able to be in a certain environment or job, or like a lifestyle, and it really can hold you back on the potential that you have. There's a balance of that, and being mindful of, again, situations around you too, that may be reckless with the Knight of Wands and um the Page of Wands, looking up to the Knight of Wands and thinking that's who I want to be. And I'm like, you just think like, is that really who you want to be, or you're just admiring your big brother who happens to just make a lot of not great decisions? But in this case, it does seem like you got the Sun and the Nine of Coins. And with the Nine of Coins, this feels like living a life of comfort and luxury and wealth. It doesn't necessarily need to be just the physical wealth, but it could be the hard work and the knowledge and the experience and the joy that comes from the Sun, and the nurturing that comes from the goose, that is really why you're in the position that you're in. And that's the potential of you and of the situation. Other cards, the Four of Coins, Four of Pentacles, there is a held back energy, as if needing to have a specific vision for your life, or this could also be family ties of needing to have uh, their certain visions and dreams fulfilled. So with the goose, and then it looks like a duck in this picture, where it seems a little maternal too, as if maybe it's something that your parents would have wanted, or something that you would think would make a good husband or wife, to be that type of person. And the fact of the matter is, you can be, but it can turn into falling short if you become, you are in a routine where you do these things that aren't part of who you necessarily are. because a lot of times we go back to origin where the soul centers itself and the soul is so big. And to change the soul is changing so many things in your life. And are you willing to sacrifice those years, those times, those moments where you really wanted your personality to shine? There's a little bit of stuckness in the past because there's the moon card with a little bit of a reversed energy as if the moon didn't come out. Well, the sun was covered. So basically, what I'm saying is that it's like darkness because there's a balance of the darkness and the light. So if you don't have any type of light, then it just is, there's a void. And that might be the energy of this where there seems to be a void and not having the motivation with the two of coins of responsibility because it feels as if it is your responsibility, but it isn't your responsibility because it's not your soul's path. The overall energy is the Four of Swords, a lot of maternal energy that you get. Maybe this is some type of family ties or a dynamic or the way that you envision yourself and how you would like to and be in the world that isn't the natural course that your soul would take. On the mind, you have the Nine of Swords, which is interesting because it seems like it really eats at you. But with the Hanged Man, it hasn't been fully developed with the Hanged Man because it feels like the Hanged Man is almost refusing to see that aspect, but he or she knows the situation. You also have the Empress too. So much maternal energy from this. And being could be Taurus energy too, of being as solid as a rock, representing the bull and getting the horns from the bull. Um, which does seem more of a reversed aspect. It's the Ten of Cups, where the figure is playing the guitar or a medieval instrument. Um, Playing or going along with that life. In the immediate future, there are choices. although there's the Seven of Cups where there are multiple choices, there may be specific paths that stand out to you that you know would be the right choice for you. And the Seven of Swords seems to feel like slipping away. And it almost feels like with the Seven of Swords, it kind of feels like a getaway plan of how will I do this? Where I could live my life and the whole world would be harmonious and everything will be fine. Your hopes or fears, you have the Three of Swords. With the Three Swords, it feels like it just keeps going and going as if there's jab after jab and there isn't relief for you with what's going on. But it kind of feels like there is a stuck energy from this. And the Six of Swords, wanting to go towards peace, inner peace and outer peace. In the further future is the Five of Cups. Kind of feels like picking the wrong cups. It might not be completely picking them because you feel like they're the right choice, but picking at them because those choices seem the most neutral for the situation, for the greater good of the situation. Then the Ten of Coins with that, with the Five of Cups. It feels like almost as if you're taking on the family business and you don't have any interest in the family business. And it's not like you don't want the family business to keep going, but um it so the family business is mm, like a wood carver or what was like a woodsman or something. But you don't want to do that. You'd rather be like a chef or something that's completely different than the family business. And another card from this deck, and I'll switch over, is the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups, it feels like she's trying to keep it together internally, externally, or keep things inside and not wanting to complain about it or anything. Oh, another card. The King of Wands. So all of the wands came out. It's a lot of fiery energy, and it feels like it may have to do with family because of all the court cards. It came from the wand suit. And with the card at the bottom for the Theater Dolls Tarot, it's the Hierophant. And that one feels like there's a sense of loyalty to what you have. It gave your what you gave yourself this what you're tending to right now. So for the Hierophant, it feels as if like something that you look towards, like a person, or it does feel like it's something or someone that you just think about or admire, that in a greater degree, that like puts a smile on your face and helps you get through the moments where you have to live a life that isn't completely authentic to what you would want in your life. Just off to the side right now because my foot's falling asleep. And then there's nesting dolls on the Hierophant card. So it can be nurturing, and I feel like there's also feeding too, as if it could be knowledge or some type of, in this case with the Hierophant, like a spiritual type of connection. That could be faith too. With the future, it's the Four of Swords. And I am getting pins and needles on this too. Because a lot of times with the Four of Swords, it's like the resting card. And it's like your foot falling asleep and trying to walk while your foot's falling asleep. And it's not the most comfortable and it's not the easiest. And as I say that, I need to plug in my computer. And I'll pull out an oracle card. I don't know if you're gonna snap, but it almost feels like the next step is the Ace of Swords, and it's like the mannequin going through the brick wall or the prop on the stage. It looks like maybe having new ideas or thoughts of how to overcome the pins and needles, the discomfort. Because the struggle is comfort. It could be internally and externally. And maybe you aren't in the place where you would, the preferable place where you want to be right now. So it's the Sun and the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands, it feels chaotic. And the struggle is the Sun. And the Sun has the reputation of being the best card in the deck. So if it's in a struggle position, it's like the struggle to find some peace and quiet, if that's the happiness that you're looking for. Because the overall energy just feels like I keep going to like a household because with the Three of Cups, like you may love the people, but it feels like a full house, as if maybe you're visiting your parents or something and they can't stand the way that you live. And that's why you live separately from them because it's just completely different lifestyles. And it's confirming for this reading of having it be like the Peace Podcast reading of healing because the card that I got is healing. And I'll see what the bottom of the deck is, just for funsies. Harmony. It can be learning to live in harmony in the past. It just kind of reminds me of like in the past, you're looking into a hazard bin of all like, so in the hazard bin, it's all the things that are for like the compounding room. It's like the chemicals, the powders, and maybe um like the towels that you use to wipe down things. Um, just things that aren't good, that are definitely something that you wouldn't want to touch. So it also feels like the opening of Pandora's box. It's like you open this box and all the fuckery just like came out and you're just looking at it like, what just happened? And it's interesting because in the past, although there was the Page of Swords, there's also the Four of Wands. And there is a sense of comfort and like a sense of happiness that you get where the figure is just like lounging on the couch with no care in the world, um, after a long day journeying, being able to sit next to his fire and to relax and to sleep. And that could be one of the best joys that you get from the sun if that's what you're looking for. And there's a sense of coziness because the backdrop is like dark and then there's a snowflake as if, like in the winter time, at least Me being from the north, I love like the cold seasons. I mean, some people that live up north don't like the cold seasons, but I love cold weather. And I just love the comfort of when you're when it's a cold season and then you could just like bundle up and be all cozy. That's what it feels like. Um, one of the one of my favorite things. Then with the Four of Swords, it's the Ace of Wands. So the other reading, you got the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Coins, Ace of Pentacles. And this reading, the next step to overcome the struggle of not having your son, um, is the Ace of Swords. There is something that might be an idea. It it can also be speaking your piece. There's something that just kind of comes out of the blue and may come out pretty intensely. It doesn't need to be like an aggressive, intense, but maybe an exciting type of intensity too. Maybe you just read something or you just talked about something that you really fancy. So the other ace is the Ace of Wands, as I said. And with the Ace of Swords and an Ace of Wands, it can be like some type of inspiration. So these fell out the Fool card, the Hermit, and the World. All major arcana. And the Sun is major arcana, the Hierophant is major arcana. It feels like you're this glass figure. Sorry. And trying to keep afloat and balance with your balloons while you're on a tight rope. But it does seem like over here there's like a trap here, and there's a good chance you might walk into it. With the Hermit card, this feels like a falling back energy too. Um, Kind of feeling like reserving yourself or just not tending to other things that you normally would. Because the figure literally left like a match on the floor that's like on fire. Left the apple that he probably would have eaten just one bite, and there was no motivation to eat the rest of the apple. There's just things around him that are misplaced. And it does feel like there is a burnout too, because there's like matches that aren't lit up anymore on the floor. And the World card. It's interesting how you have the World and the Fool here, because it's the Fool's journey. You start with the Fool and you end with the Fool. And the World is aside from the Fool being the numerical value of 0, you have the World card, And so that's 21. So that's the end of the Fool's Journey or in the Major Arcana if you're not counting the Fool card. So it does feel like things are, with the Ace of Swords reaching its breaking point and things really changing for the better. So this is almost an hour long. I'll read we'll get a final card from there. And it's the Eight of Wands. It kind of feels like, when you're at an airport and then there's like the sticks where the plane is kind of guided towards. It kind of feels like at the end it's like over here and getting that attention or getting what you need to say or do out. So I'll read healing first. And a situation that has caused you concern is on the mend. You're a natural healer and your healing thoughts have manifested into form. Sometimes a situation cannot heal until you release the challenge completely, so that healing light can enter it. Your worries will soon be over because this card signifies that a healing has occurred. To realize this healing, however, you must first stop focusing on what is wrong and instead affirm everything is in divine and perfect order right now. You have the natural healing abilities, and with this card asks you to have faith that God works with you as an earth healing angel. Hold thoughts of love and around any situation that seems to need healing. Visualize the situation as healed right now. Then give thanks to God for this healing and completely release everything to the angels. The powerful effects of your healing work touch many lives. And then harmony. Conflict is resolved in a situation that was troubling you. Know that you deserve this peace and happiness and accept it graciously. Beloved child of God, you are a peace lover at heart. This card comes to you as a sign of new harmony that dawns upon you. Let go of viewing the situation as troubled and see yourself as others through the eyes of the guardian angels. In this way, you'll look past the surface and see the beauty and light that eternally shines within everyone. By shifting your viewpoint to the angelic perspective, you become an earth angel. Holding an elevated viewpoint sparks miraculous healing in all of the relationships. Conflict drops away, revealing the clean and new truth that everyone about everyone and everything. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.